Is your SAT math score great right now, but your English score is struggling like whoa? Guys, it is time this summer to seize on the opportunity to improve your English score and get it on par with your math score. And listen, I can relate. When I was in high school, I was super lopsided in my score. I didn't do any prep and I ended up with a 780 in math and a 640 in English. Looking back, I honestly wish I had had strategies for the English sections. I know I could have done so much better. And now as an adult with the tools and the things that I know, I actually score 130 points higher in the English than I did when I was in high school. So guys, that's really why I want to make this video today. I want to be able to impart on you what I know so that I can help you get a better English score and teach you the things that I didn't know when I was in high school. So if you're taking the August SAT, perfect video for you. This video is going to go over tips, tricks, and strategies that you can use to easily boost your English score in a short period of time. Now, this video is going to be divided into two parts. There's the digital SAT in the first part, and then I'll cover the paper test in the second part. So there will be timestamps in the description below in case you want to jump ahead. Now, honestly, if you're a junior or rising junior in high school in the States, I would advise you watch both parts because class of 2025 can actually take the paper test this coming year and the digital SAT. All right, now before we get into the video, of course, you guys make sure you hit that subscribe button below if you haven't yet, as well as the notification bell, because I don't want you guys to miss out on any future content from me. All right, guys, before we continue, this video is brought to you by Preply, the digital SAT prep app that helps you prep on the go from your mobile device with hundreds of questions for both the English and the math for this new SAT test. So if you've run out of materials and resources to prep from, or if you just want to prep, a little bit here and there in between your Blue Book practice tests, I would definitely download that today. All right, guys, so this first part is the digital SAT segment. So if you are taking the digital SAT, what I want you to do first is go ahead and comment below and let me know what type of question is the toughest for you to tackle on the English modules and why. All right, let's get into my tips for getting better on the digital SAT English. All right, tip number one is just pure strategy. When you get to a module for the English, I would advise you jump to the middle and handle the middle and the end of the section first, and then loop back to the beginning. The middle and end of the section are way quicker and easier points to obtain than some of the other questions that involve more reading and more work. So basically, when you get to your test, I would click that review button on the bottom and jump ahead to like number 15 or 16, somewhere in there, and look for your first standard English convention question. That'll be a grammar one, and then work all the way to the end and then go back to number one. All right, tip number two, hide the clock. I mean, who wants to see a clock ticking down while you're trying to focus and concentrate? Yes, I know that this might be controversial, and I'm sure some of you guys are going to push back on me. I hope I don't get a lot of nasty comments on this, but personally, I would do that. I don't want to see a clock, but that's just me. All right, tip number three, you gotta get some strategies. Test prep is all about finding easier and more efficient ways to do the problems. And so as a test prep coach, my job is not to be so academic really about the questions, but more so strategic about the questions. So if you can figure out ways to make the questions easier, for example, function of the underlined sentence questions, I found you can cut corners on those and really streamline them by starting by looking at the answer choices. If your answer choices don't refer to any of the other sentences in the paragraph, like if it doesn't say to the previous sentence or to the following sentence, you only have to read the sentence that's underlined and then you can actually answer the question. So you can cut a corner there. So if you want to get some really solid strategies from a test prep expert, I have designed an awesome digital SAT prep course. It's self-paced, and I give you strategies for every single type of question so that it can make your life and the test so much easier and just less anxiety provoking. You'll have a super good game plan going in there. So that being said, I'm going to link up here right now so you can go get that. I'll put it in the description below. Right now, for all YouTube viewers out there, I'm offering a special $50 discount. Just put the promo code 50 off at checkout so that you can make sure to get that deal. Okay, tip number four. 4, if you're taking the digital SAT, you have to improve your vocabulary. I am sorry, you guys, there's no ways around it. The first group of questions that you're going to hit on the English modules are words and context questions. At the end of the day, it takes a lot of work to memorize 50,000 words and their definitions. So I have a great video that talks about breaking words down into their parts in my digital SAT course. All right, number 5, the more practice you have at reading, the better your skill is going to be and the more that you're going to improve. So summertime's a great time to practice. I would say get any single resource you can, like read the newspaper, read a magazine, read a novel, try to read fiction, nonfiction, and just like hone your reading comprehension skills. Okay, number 6, reflect. So when you take your Blue Books exams practices, after you're done taking a practice, I don't want you to look at your score and go, oh, okay, I got a 630 in English, whatever. You need to go back in to your College Board account and go through each and every question you missed, re-answer it, try to figure out why your answer is wrong, why another answer is right. Because half the battle of taking a test is figuring out, why does College Board think this answer is right? Your goal is not to think like you anymore, sadly. It's really to start thinking of like how the test designers think and anticipating what they think is the right answer. And you're not going to get any better, guys, and your score will not improve if you don't do this crucial step and reflect on your practices. Number 7, make sure you assess your score report for weaknesses. I just released a video last week going over the breakdown of the score report and what it means. So I'll link that down in the description so that you guys can access that again. But yeah, I mean, if you're missing a few bars in craft and structure, make sure you're like practicing main purpose of text questions and words and context questions and any types of questions that are in the craft and structure category. If you know your weaknesses, those are the ones you're going to want to focus on the most. All right, guys. Now, if you are enjoying this video so far, please make sure to hit that thumbs up button and like it. And now we're going to move on to the paper test. So if you are taking the paper test this year, go ahead and comment below for me and let me know what section you are weaker in or struggle more with. Do you struggle with the reading or the writing section and why? I would love to hear what's going on with you and what you need the most help in. All right, here are my tips for improving your paper-based English SAT score. The first is definitely assess your past score reports for weaknesses. So again, I mentioned in the digital SAT portion, I have a video linked down in the description below where I go over the breakdown of the score report. So when you look at your sub scores, if you're weaker in, say, the command of evidence section, you know you need to work on your double questions. So definitely check that video out if you're not familiar with how to read your score report. Number 2, I would suggest getting a test-taking watch. You can get a watch on Amazon. It's called Test Timers. I'll also link that below. I'm not getting an affiliate commission for this. This is just something that I found on my own. I've had a few students use it and they said it was really helpful. I think that you should get the watch for a couple reasons. If you're tight on time, consider getting it. If you have gone into proctoring situations where all you have is an analog clock on the wall with the hands, because those are hard to read and it's hard to tell how much time you have left. So a lot of students struggle with the reading section with time, and it's just a lot easier if you have a watch on to be able to check your pacing. Like, it should take you about 13 minutes for every passage. So what I suggest is don't keep looking at it every 2 seconds. That's going to waste too much time for you. But finish a passage, finish the fiction passage, look at your watch. If you are less than 13 minutes, you've got some extra time. Your pacing's good. If you're over 13 minutes, you got to pick up the pace. You took too long. All right, if you're really tight on time on the reading section, or if you have a tough time staying focused and you read the same thing over and over again, or you think it's really boring, I would say switch to the answer-seeking strategy. I go over the answer-seeking strategy in depth in my online self-directed paper SAT course. So I'm going to link that course up here right now, and that'll also be down in the description below. Because we're almost to the end of the 2023 year and the paper-based test is going away soon, I have an awesome special. It's 50% off the course and it covers all of the English sections and all the math sections. So if you need a prep plan, definitely sign up for that. It's solid, you guys. Okay, number 4, know the grammar rules. And this is something I mentioned on the digital SAT as well. If you don't know how a semicolon is supposed to be used, or you're not sure what subject-verb agreement is, I would definitely say you need to work on grammar rules. I have an exclusive video in that paper-based course I just mentioned, so that's an option for you if you can sign up for that. But yeah, I mean, that is a huge part of the writing section and it's a lot of points. So you want to make sure you can get all those points you should be able to get. Like these are the easiest points to pick up on as long as you know all the rules. All right, number 6, you know those questions on the reading section that go back to back and the second one says, you know, what is the lines for to answer the previous question? I call those double questions. You should definitely be answering those backwards. So when you get to a question that goes together, read the first question, pick an answer from the line references they give you in the second part, and then match it up to an answer in the first part. It's much easier to find the textual evidence first and let that help you pick the right answer to the first question. All right, number 7, learn from your mistakes. So if you have a QAS report, like if you took the March or the May test, go back through your reading misses. I mean, this is definitely necessary, you guys. You need to figure out like why College Board thinks another answer is right and why your answer was wrong. If you don't start thinking like the test designers, you don't have a chance at improving because you're going to keep doing the same old thing that you've always done. It's time to do things differently. All right, number 8, skip the hug slug. You guys, so many people complain about the hug slug and how hard it is. It's the one where on the reading section, you have a passage 1 and a passage 2, like back to back. Listen, if the hug slug is tough for you, play to your strengths and be strategic and just skip that passage and save it for last. Worst case scenario, if you're running out of time on the hug slug, you can just Christmas tree however many questions you have left by going D, 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 D. That will guarantee you, at least a couple of points. All right, last but not least, if you're taking the paper-based test and you're a rising junior this year, consider taking the digital SAT as well. In 2024, the digital SAT rolls out to all students in the US. So you guys in the class of 2025 have the best of both worlds right now because you can take the paper test and then you can take the digital SAT and submit whatever scores you did are stronger for you and whatever tests you did better in. So you're the only class that gets this option. Take advantage of it. All right, guys, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching today. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, you are officially my favorite student ever. Until next time, everybody, happy prepping.